I personally can't believe it, but it's actually true. I'm back. My channel's back. I've lost my channel 5 years ago due to I don't know what. I don't know if you are aware that normally when YouTube takes down your channel, 9 times out of 10, they just send you an email. Doesn't have any reasons. It just selects a certain terms of agreement, but doesn't actually tell you exactly what video has somehow crossed the lines of their terms and conditions. They just literally say, right, that's it, no more. Now you have a chance to appeal that, which I have done on several occasions, and every single time I was just sent an email saying, I'm sorry, but we're not going to carry on with this. However, due to a lot of things that have been changing quite recently, ever since the presidential election, I thought today I would give it another try. I thought, you know what? There's quite a few things changing throughout the world in reference to the whole Ukraine thing, Israel, Hamas, the way that people also are starting to talk to each other where before they didn't. And I'll give you an example of that. Before the presidential election, if a Conservative speaker was to go to one of the rallies, whether it be an LGBT or a woman's rally, or whatever it is of the other side, the Biden stroke Kamala Harris side, the people on the other side would never talk to the Trump supporter. They would just class them as far right, Hitler, all the nasty words that you can think of, and somehow believe that they are the more superior. And of course, the likes of Trump supporters are just what classed as rubbish.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
However, what's happened quite recently, which I think is fantastic, is that people are starting to talk. They're starting to talk to each other, which means we don't fight each other.
There.
For these good things that are happening was the presidential election. They can't really go for Trump anymore. He can only do another 4 years. So there's no point really trying to put him in prison, trying to bankrupt him, etc., etc. So there's no point in having this nasty rhetoric going out there, trying to pretend that somehow he is a danger to the Western world, let alone America. So the mass media have started to learn their lesson because their value is starting to go down. Their viewership has started to go down. So the propaganda has started to go down. People are starting to be more and more awake to what's been happening over the last 5 years. The 5 years of pure hatred and propaganda just after one man to stop him from being president of the United States because certain people, powerful people, do not want him changing things.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
The likes of Joe Scarborough and his wife have had a massive backlash in reference to them visiting Donald Trump. And I can totally understand why they got the backlash. However, for the betterment of America, I believe it was a good thing. It's a good thing for these people to talk to Donald Trump, to realise that he wasn't the nasty man that they tried to make out. He wasn't Hitler, he wasn't Mussolini, and he isn't a fascist. I guess they knew that all along, but I guess it needed to be drilled in even further to make them understand what they were saying on national TV was a bad thing. Now, this has caused a major uproar for their side of the aisle, the likes of the Biden, Kamala TV network system. And they got a bit of backlash from Whoopi Goldberg.
So is this the approach that
is going to work with a gentleman who campaigned on calling the media the enemy of the people?
So I actually think it was the right thing to do. And I've heard a lot of folks on the left coming after Joe and Mika saying, don't normalize him. Well, 75 million plus American voters normalized Donald Trump by making him President-elect Donald Trump. In this notion that if sort of the resistance who opposes him stayed in their safe bubbles, sat on their hands and just complained about him for 4 years, that would have a bigger impact than sitting down. I talked to Mika, actually. They met with him for over 90 minutes. They raised very valid concerns. They both see themselves as opinion journalists who want to actually be able to engage the person that they talk about every day, actually be able to raise issues with them when they're concerned. And in the same way that I thought it was right for Joe Biden to meet with him, and that I think it's right for presidents to meet with foreign adversaries to try to find diplomatic relations and ways to bring people together and solve problems, this is absolutely the right thing. I would sit down with Donald Trump. I would interview Donald Trump. And I'll go a step further. I hope good people work for him. We need to stop demonizing people because they supported a man who just became president of the United States. We should hope good people are around him and smart journalists are challenging him.
Now, that woman, she's supposed to be a conservative on The View in America. She's not really a conservative. She did actually work for Trump, I believe, in his first administration in 2016. But she's basically slagged Donald Trump off and his whole party since then, the past 5 years. But it's really good that she's actually come out and basically told the truth. We need to calm things down and actually be at the back of Donald Trump to make sure that America and the world succeeds. However, her partner, the sidekick, the other presenter, doesn't actually think the same way.
The guy who ushered in alternative facts. He is the guy who attacked 3 black female journalists. He's the guy that revoked Jim Acosta's press credentials for asking him a question. And so I think that this president-elect, I hate to say it, would like nothing more than to have only Fox News cover him, would like nothing more than a state-sponsored media.
People like this see things as just purely black and white. They won't see anything out of that vision, that tunnel. They will see that tunnel and they will keep walking through it. If you try and persuade them out of that tunnel, they will fight you for it. There seems to be something inside them that just will not listen to anyone else's point of view, whether factual or non-factual. They will fight to their death to say that something is unreal, which is real. However, the choices are very simple. You're going to either listen to people like this or talk to your neighbour, no matter who they vote for. Talk to your brother, no matter who they vote for. Talk to your sister, no matter who they vote for. It's a political thing. It's not a personal thing. Enjoy your life. Be around the people you want to be around. But more importantly, understand that friends and family don't come around very often. So when they do, cherish it.